right, this time on Jill of All Trades, we're talking about hanging stuff, but not just a basic picture, because that's pretty easy to do. You just need a nail or maybe a drywall screw, and you just hang it on there. It's when you start to get the really big items, like this mirror, that you need help. Or maybe you have a really big painting, or you've got a clock. Those things are heavier, and it's not going to work with just a screw in the wall. So I'm going to show you what your options are. So the first thing I want to show you, this is actually one of my favorites. This is a toggle bolt. So what you would need to do, I mean, these are heavy duty, and they actually come in heavier sizes. This one's even thicker yet, so you can match the size in terms of the strength that you need to the item that you're hanging. But even this, one of the thinner ones, is pretty strong. So what you would need to do is you match your drill bit to the size of the sleeve that's on the toggle bolt. And I'll show you this. I'm going to drill right through this, just a scrap of drywall. And then you would slide this in. Just like that. Now, you're going to turn the screw to tighten it. First we want to, it's got a couple little teeth in that ring that goes around it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, I'll show you on that. You can see, you want to get those teeth to kind of sink in, and you could even kind of take a hammer and pound that in. I'm just going to use the butt of my screwdriver. There we go. Now that's all the way in. Now I'm going to tighten this screw and watch what happens to the back of it when I do. Now I have that in tight. You can see that's all flared out. That is not going to pull out of there. At that point, now you can pull the screw, you can back it out to hang whatever you're hanging, if you can just loop it over, or you could actually even pull the screw all the way out and then screw it in through the item that you're hanging and back into this anchor, and that's not going to move, and that thing isn't going anywhere. That will hold it very tight. Now, this is a plastic threaded anchor, so you would put that in, and then just take your screwdriver and twist it in, and those little flanges really bite. So again, once that's in, you're not going anywhere. Then you put your screw into that, you're done. They have the same ones that are metal, that too. I mean, you can feel it when you twist that in, and you can hear it kind of digging in to the drywall. And this one, when you then screw into that, because it's softer metal, again, I need to tap that in with a hammer, it's going to spread that just a little bit, just enough to give you some bite and anchor whatever it is you're hanging. Let me do one more. Here we go. Okay, it's got some ridges at the top. So once I push that in, it's going to lock itself in. And then when I put a screw into it, it's going to do the same thing that this other one is. There's a hole there for the screw, and it's going to tighten it down so you get, you know, like a winged effect there. Same thing, not quite as heavy duty as this one, but same concept. For really big things, like big paintings, like my clock that's in the dining room behind me, you can actually do a couple, do 2 of these. And you know, the painting is on a wire, you can hang the wire, just hang, make sure they're level, put your wire on, just hang them over that, and then you can actually even tighten that a little bit so the wire doesn't go anywhere. Or the clock has holes in the back. You can do, just make sure you're lined up, you know, you gotta do your measuring and your leveling, but do 2 of them, and those things will not go anywhere. So there you have it. Ways to anchor things when you're hanging the big stuff on Jill of All Trades.
Yes, indeed. My husband has, he could be a professional drywall hanger because we're moving mirrors, moving stuff. But yeah, if it's anything that a nail won't hold up, that's what you need, right?
Right. So Lee, you had a question.
I'm always worried about the strength of the drywall or the sheetrock, which you're putting it in, because it seems like it's flimsy.
It does seem flimsy, but you have to think of it in terms of being able to drag that screw or drag that nail or whatever down through the drywall. You'd never be able to do that. The only way that things fall is if the screw gets wobbly. So if you have these in, it's going to keep it solid and from getting wobbly, and then you know the weight of it will never rip through that drywall.
Now, how do you know which size to get? Because you got like 6 of them here.
Yeah, I have different kinds, and you can go to your hardware store and consult. I don't know specific weights for each one, but I will say, if you're not sure, go heavier duty.
See, we typically at my house we use these in most situations.
And
these are plastic.
Those are good for your standard pictures, maybe a larger picture, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's these toggle bolts that's for the really heavy duty stuff.
If you hang something with this, at least at Dina's house, that's going to stay there forever.
Forever.
Oh yeah.
Husband's not going to be happy putting this in the wall and then me changing my mind a month later.
You know what? I think I liked it over there.
I don't like that near there. And then you got giant holes.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because at that point, if you want to move something, punch it through.
Oh,
If you're going to take it out, don't try to take it out.
Oh,
Just punch it through and
then
patch the drywall.
Yeah.
And touch up your paint.
Yeah, it gets real messy when you pull it out because then you get the drywall kind of
Or
freeze.
better to take a screwdriver and a hammer and punch that through and just patch a little hole.
All right. Good stuff, Jill. Oh man, I need a lot of stuff hung and moved around and all that stuff.